Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist, and I'm creating a video every day for a full year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And this is video 152. This is take number 3 or 4. I don't know. The cats have been acting crazy in the background. I lost my train of thought more than once. I don't know what happened. But it's raining outside, and it's just a cozy day, and I just decided to turn the camera on before I get back to work. So we'll see if I can actually get through this video, and we'll just see where it goes. So I have lots of bloopers that I could probably put on a video someday. That would be kind of funny. There was a lot going on in the last video. So I was like, let's just start over. This isn't going to work. So anyway, I hope you all are doing awesome. Thank you for being here with me. And I thought I'd just do kind of a quick little reminder, because we've got to have repetition in life. So you want to learn how to master yourself. This is the number one skill that we can implement and create and get better at throughout life. There's nothing that you need to know better than yourself, because when you know yourself, you can refine your manifestation techniques and everything that you're wanting. So we are already the most perfect manifestors that we can possibly be right now. We are manifesting 24/7. We just don't know it. But the thing that we need to do is refine and understand why we're manifesting what we're manifesting. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about in this video. How to refine. And so basically what I do is I look externally to myself and I use everything I see as data, and I just have fun and I act like I'm playing The Sims or something, because that's kind of what this is. It's a simulation. And so I say, well, what are these holograms telling me today? And I just have so much fun with it. And I don't get upset, and I just kind of go with it, and I decide what I want. And I just stay there in my mind. And the more you practice this, the more you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel more in control. You're not going to spiral. You're not going to overthink. When we overthink, our brain is trying to come up with a solution to a problem. It's going to continue to do whatever it's been doing for so long. It's on default mode, and it's just not going to come out of that until you disrupt it and change the pattern. And so one thing you can do is tell yourself, okay, I'm seeing this right now, and I'm feeling this, and I feel this in my body here. Just acknowledge it. Yes, this is true right now for me. Okay, now, where do I want to go from here? How do I want to feel? How do I want my body to feel? Do I want to feel safe in my body? Do I want to feel less anxiety? How do I want to feel? And then you create a scene in your mind that is like basically the opposite of what you're seeing. Whatever it is that you're wanting, if you want the opposite, imagine the opposite. You've got to shift the way that you're seeing things, and your imagination is actually the real reality. Everything is happening in your imagination first before you ever see it externally. So when I learned that, I was like, wow, okay, that sounds like not true, but let's check this out. And so the more I practiced it, the more I was like, okay, that is what this is. Because there were too many weird things that happened, too many synchronicities, too many things I thought in my head that actually were said verbatim to me. And so I've just been practicing it over the years, but I've been mainly refining it the last couple years, just like looking at everything as data. So if you look at everybody as a blob of energy teaching you something, that's all you got to do. They're a blob of energy. They've got a gift for you. They're saying, here you go, here's a gift. This is me telling you something about you and your thoughts and your assumptions and your beliefs and all these things packaged up in this little gift. Here you go. And you take it, receive it, and say, this is data. This is all this is. I'm just taking this in. I'm doing my research and my discovery and all this stuff, and I'm going to create a new reality from this data. And this data is telling me this. Okay, well, it's telling me my self-concept is probably not the best. I don't see myself very well. My self-worth is low right now. I've been kind of looking in the mirror and noticing all my flaws lately, and I've been telling myself I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not capable and I'm not good enough in these areas. So that is a sign to shift something. That data that you're seeing outside of yourself is telling you where the work needs to come in. And the thing about this self-work stuff is like, you're going to do this your whole life. You're always going to have your reality showing you things. You're always going to have triggers of some sort that show up. And a trigger is just something that creates a feeling inside of you that doesn't feel so good from the past. It's just connected. It's all kind of linked up. And it might seemingly be something small, but it like makes, just a big emotion pop up in you. So it's worth looking at. And you figure out what belief must be true. Like, what am I believing is true about myself if this is causing a feeling in me? And you wouldn't have that feeling if you didn't have a belief about something underneath it. It's always the belief that's causing this stuff. And so examine your belief systems. You're going to basically learn how to master yourself. That's what you're doing. It's all repetition. Every video I do, unless I specifically have like, this video is about this today, like this specific thing, all the videos are kind of going to be the same answer. And the point of that is that we need repetition. We've got to have something in front of us daily to remind us who we are. Because if not, you're going to go back to the old self, the default pattern that your brain is so used to being in. And it can't help it because it's programmed that way. So you can decide to reprogram at any moment that you want. And it's shifting your identity is what you're doing. So by shifting these beliefs, that'll start shifting your identity. But what's really fun is you decide, before you do any of this, you can decide, who is it that I want to be? And if you don't know who you want to be, you say, how do I want to feel? And you just start there. I feel this now. I don't like this. So you know you don't like it, and you know what you don't want. So you get that out of the way. And then you say, okay, since I feel this way, like I don't like to feel that way. I want to feel this way instead. And then you describe that, like, how would that feel? How does this feeling feel? Where do I feel it in my body? Is it, I feel excited. I want to be at peace every day. What does that look like? And really start figuring out why you want to feel peace. Peace feels great. Happiness feels great. All these feelings feel great. But why do you want to feel those? And what's so bad about the way you feel now? You look at the contrast in between the two, and that really solidifies the why. This is why I want to feel this way, because I want to live my life like this in peace. Nothing is better than peace. And then what would get me to peace? Like, what kind of identity would I have to have? What beliefs do I have now that I need to let go of that are hindering me from being that new me that I'm wanting to be, that would be living in peace? And so it's a lot of just looking inside yourself, facing yourself. I think I would say that's probably on the top 10 fears of people, is like really looking at themselves, because we've learned how to suppress every single feeling we've ever had. All the things that have happened to us, we like to put them in a box and act like they're not there, and they're really affecting us daily. I mean, I see it all the time. You can hear it in people's voices all the time. And so that's why this information is so valuable, because when you know who you're being during the day, you really get to know, oh, wow, that's a trigger for me. Some people don't even know what their triggers are. They don't know what upsets them at all. The word trigger is so overplayed. I really want to come up with a new word, like it's just something that makes you feel, it's like a switch. I came up with the term life switch for trauma. Like, it's just a switch that got turned on or off, and it's a life switch. It just changed your life when it happened. So it's something, a trigger is just something that it elicits an emotion from you, and you just feel a certain feeling when it happens, and it doesn't feel too good. So then we might take it out on a partner or a friend or on our children or whatever, because we're upset that this thing that's happening right now has nothing to do with anything, really. It's just tied to something from the past, and our body can remember things from the past. It's really crazy. So basically your past can be, in the present, and it just gets reignited by certain events that might remind you of the past. So it's very, very valuable for you to know where you're at You know, what are you, where's your energy? Where's your focus? What are you dominantly focused on? Because if you don't know what you're dominantly focused on, then your brain's just going to go off basically on the playground and just play on all the toys. Like it's going to do whatever it wants unless you tell it what to do. And that's just how it works. It's looking for that solution. It's not going to be able to come up with a solution. It's just going to spiral you into overthinking. And we don't want that. We want focused thinking. You want to funnel it down to like, okay, this is where I want to be looking. This is where I want to be thinking. This is where I want to place my energy. This life force that's within me is wanting to go somewhere. Where am I going to focus this? Because wherever your attention goes, your energy is going to flow towards that. So if you're dominantly thinking negative, more on the negative side of thought, then you're going to notice you don't feel so good. And that is a great indication of the fact that, okay, I need to shift something here. And so you just start small. Some of you might be beginners. Some of you might be experts. Some of you might be way past what I'm saying. And so, but listen for any gems I might say, you know, but for beginners, you start really small. And you start knowing that, okay, you're already a perfect manifester. No matter what you think, you're already perfect at it. We were perfect when we were born because we're constantly manifesting 24/7. Everything around you is a manifestation of something that you thought. And so you're already doing it. It's just we're not doing it from like being conscious of it and like being very deliberate with it. And we want to refine it. And we want to know why certain situations are manifesting around us. Why did that thing show up? And then you can refine how you do this and do it more consciously instead of kind of unconsciously. And that's mostly how we're living life. We're living life kind of like half alive. I don't like that. I want all of us to be alive and excited about life. And the only way you can do that is train yourself. I've trained myself. I mean, I had no reason to be very excited about life years ago. And I had to learn how to train myself. And it works. It really does work. It works better than anything. I mean, it's just you decide how you want to feel. But the first thing is that awareness, like, how am I feeling now? Because sometimes we don't even know how we're feeling. We just are compartmentalizing, you know, putting it in a box in our mind and saying, I'll take this down later. I'll take this off the shelf and we'll figure this out later. We'll sort it later. And then it never gets sorted. And then other boxes get piled onto the other boxes. And then it gets a lot more difficult. So, but really, you need to know, how are you speaking to yourself? What do you think about yourself on a daily basis? How are you perceiving yourself? Because how you perceive yourself is how you're going to see everything around you and everyone around you too. So it's just this like crazy game that is really fun when you make it fun. It's not fun if you don't know this stuff. I'm thankful that I know about this stuff because I don't know what I would do if I didn't. I'd probably be a lot more upset. So that's why I want to get all this information out so people can hear it and benefit from it. But there's been books written a long time ago about this stuff. And one book I will recommend is The Science of Getting Rich. That is a really great book for learning about the science of getting rich. It's just such an awesome book. And I'm going to be kind of teaching out of that book someday. That's one of my goals. I love that book. That was one of the first books on, I guess, manifestation or any of this that I came across about 15 years ago. And there is a science to feeling good. There's a precise way to start thinking, which is different from the way you're thinking now. And we just have to practice. It has to be repeated. The late Bob Proctor was talking about how, I think it was Earl Nightingale. He met up with him one day and Earl had, this book propped up on this book holder thing and to these 2 pages. And he was like, why do you have that on your desk? And he's like, I read these 2 pages every day and I'll probably read them for about a month or 2. And he's like, why? And he's like, well, it becomes me. The information becomes me. And he was like, oh, and that's what we have to do. We have to make this information become us. We don't just hear about it, read about it. We let it actually repeat into us and become who we are, the information. And so that's what I recommend you do with my videos. Just take this in. Here, it's basically the same stuff I'm going to say every day, just in different ways. But it's, again, noticing that you are doing everything around you. Whether you want to believe it or not, just try it. Try it on purpose. Create some experiments. Try some things. See what happens. Because you'll notice a pattern, or you can look back at your life and it'll show you what you've been thinking about. At first I was like, what? How does this work? And then I started doing it and I was like, yeah, this definitely, there's something to this for sure. And 100%, like, oh my gosh, I have so many stories. There's so many. And that's why I'm so excited about it, because it just takes all of your worry away, truly, and your anxiety away. And there's no need to be depressed anymore, because you know what you're doing now. You know, you're conscious of it. You're able to direct your energy towards where you want it to go, instead of thinking that, you know, you have to live this life that you actually don't want to live. So there are just so many things that you can do to change where you're at right now. And it's just so much fun to practice, but you have to practice. It's like you're in the gym and you've got to develop these muscles, because if not, the muscle of your old brain is going to take over and it's going to take you right back to where you were. So we don't want that. We want a change and a transformation. And so you have to plant new seeds so that they can grow. So remember to not be that double-minded person. We want to notice the 3D reality and use it as data, and then take that data to refine what we're wanting to create. So you're wanting to look at it like, okay, I wonder what was underlying all these beliefs that I have. Like, what is going on here? You know, what are the beliefs underlying the feelings that I'm feeling right now? And why would this thing show up? What is this showing me? What gift does this have to give me? And then you just kind of go from there, and you just repeat, and remember who you are. Remember what you're doing. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm doing this. You wake up the next day. Oh yeah, I'm doing this. I'm this today. I'm not my old self today. I'm choosing to think thoughts that align with my new self today. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I had to do this too. I had to stop myself. Stop. Do this. You know, direct yourself. You have to be your director. You're the director and the star of the show and all the other characters. You're everybody. You're everything. So it's a definite practice to get to where you're wanting to go, but you've got to know where you're going. You got to be able to program that address in the GPS. So if you don't know where exactly you're going, figure out what feeling you want to feel. That's the first thing. And you might not even know what feeling you want to feel yet. You might just want to know, where are you at? And I will link again. I'm still working on this. I'm refining this in my notes, but this will be, I think, the third video that I'll post. The Abraham Hicks's emotional guidance scale. It's an updated version that I listened to one of her workshops back in 2020, and I just added these feelings in to the scale. And then there's also a children's scale that she revealed in this session. And then I put some directions down beneath it to help guide you a little more. So if you'd like that, please subscribe to the list down below. I'll link it, and then I'll send it your way as soon as I get it done. There's a few people that have wanted it, and I'm still refining it, so I will get it to you if you're still listening to this video. So I will get to you, and I'll get to your comments whenever I can too. Sometimes I'm able to answer them real quick, and sometimes it takes me a minute. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you in some way. Today was more of a little ramble because I just needed to get a video done, and I got to get on to my other work. But thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please like and share it with somebody who might need it, and feel free to subscribe. And I look forward to being back tomorrow for more awesome mind-bending information if you're still interested. So I'll try to have some newer things coming. I definitely will, and I'm thoroughly excited about all of it. So thank you again, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.